teams aren't going to just rely solely on that Pharah versus Pharah battle. You have to have someone else to chip in on some damage to finish off a Pharah. If she takes a direct hit, you don't have to hit another one direct because McCree's on the ground or Soldier 76 is there to finish it off. Most teams to deal with the Pharah are smart and they're not only putting all their eggs in one basket there. So that is going to be the ID is going to be on Pharah. Minchel, of course, on that Lucio, as we mentioned, AZK, Mesrar, Dummy, rounding that out. Dummy is going to be an interesting player to watch. I don't think his Reaper is really where he wants it to be right now, but he plays great tanks and off tanks.
All right, we'll take a look here at the offense coming out from the side of Gale Force. It's going to be Torque here on the Zarya. Nicholas on the offensive Pharah, although he looks like he might be switching. We'll see here. Harblue on the Roadhog, JKW on the Hanzo, though he's going to be switching the Reinhardt, Shake on the Mercy, and Joe Meister on the 76. So Nicholas will be on the Pharah, and we'll see how this works out. And this is a little bit different here for the TGO brothers. They have had to switch and put more projectile DPS into their repertoire. They were really, at one point, known for just really solid hit scan between the two of them. Lots of Tracer, lots of McCree, but Nicholas now playing Pharah for the Gale Force squad.
Yeah, and as the TJO brothers go, that is going to be how Gale Force goes. If they're on, they can beat anyone. If they're off, they're going to struggle to keep in and within even mid-level teams.
So right now, nothing flashy. Gale Force right now just slowly moving on to that point. Liquid more than happy to concede a bit of space here, so long as they are decent in the back. AZK, though, going to be one of the people trying to stop them from taking the high ground. Has to go a little bit further back. And Liquid's conceding a lot of space here. They have to be careful. If they get picked off after conceding this much, as AZK and ID are both low, it could end very, very badly for them, as they've been getting outpoked. You look at this right now, they've absolutely getting outpoked. The offense is on the point, and they're going to need to take a move here, but Dummy tries to make that move, is immediately taken out. Dehang in trouble. Will he get the res off? He will not. He gets charged down. JKW getting the double kill. Joe Meister a bit of the cleanup, and that was just a little bit sloppy by Team Liquid. They never really took any sort of initiative on the defense, and they got poked down and eventually cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, the poke down, the really slow and steady push, what happened is they broke the opponent's Reinhardt shield, and he had nothing up, so really the giant advantage they had was that they had a shield, and there was no protection. It kind of put them in the back corner, and then they just all got mopped up afterwards. That triple tank and DPS comp only focused on the shield, and Roadhog's a big part of that, but when you don't have your shield up for a Reinhardt, you're essentially just a guy with a hammer who moves real slow.
All right, so Dummy right now looking here on the Reaper, going to try and do a little bit more than what happened on the first defense. Liquid, I feel like, kind of needs to wake up a little bit. They just, everything that happened in the first fight was not really typical of them, but ID taking the high ground, will be coming over the top, looking directly for Shake, lands one rocket, looking for Shake, gets in the building. Meanwhile, the Graviton surges out, Harblue with the double kill follow through, Whole Hog pushing all the way forward. ID was not able to get a hold on the back, his Harblue continues to move forward on a triple kill right now as Roadhog. And the Street Pig living up to his name as he regulates the streets right now.
Yeah, the rest brought up 3 in the back lines too, and they're all going to get cleaned up mercilessly as Harblue sitting up front just denying any sort of actual reinforcements he did coming off that res. And yeah, like I said, Harblue has been playing really well for this team, but it's on his Roadhog that he really shines. He's been absolutely crushing it lately, doesn't miss hooks, uses his clip really well, and they're setting a very fast time on tanks.
So there we are, both teams getting to the barrage coming in over the top here from Nicholas. Does take out Mesrar before dying. Dummy with the counter, Death Blossom coming in. Everyone just sort of dying left and back and forth here, but the offense are able to get onto the payload, and they're going to keep things moving. And Liquid just, I don't know, it feels like nothing has really gone Liquid's way so far in this game.
It felt like the calls there were a little off too. Both tanks went forward, and then everyone stayed very far back. The other 4, they were just kind of poking. There was no real support or cohesion at that last push. They didn't know if they were going to stall out or not fight at all, and really half of them died for it.
ID right now moving to the back line, looking to get some fair value. Does not land any shots on Nicholas. Has to back out. Almost dies for the attempt. The defense, though, is moving a little bit more far forward. AZK at the attack visor takes out Nicholas, and this is going to delay the offense at least by a little bit.
Yeah, you take out a big engine of the damage. Finally, something is stabilized for him, too. I mean, it's really one of the first times I've even seen their name on the left side of the kill feed with AZK getting a kill. So now they're a little bit more stable. They've got a couple ults to work with.
All right, so they will have sound barrier barrage here, and that's probably what they're going to go for. There's a sound barrier. ID now going over the top, looking for the Mercy in the back. Will not drop the barrage just yet. Instead, going to fight Nicholas and getting absolutely nothing. Ends up getting melted down as a result. The offense is going to have an opportunity to move forward. Here's Harblue picks up the double kill. Here comes the Graviton surge for the cleanup. Mercy gets caught. There will be no res. And what a disaster right now for Team Liquid, as Torque right now looking for this final melting of 76.
They've had no answers to these 3 tanks, and I said it before the match started. I don't think Dummy's Reaper is where he wants it to be. He should be getting a lot more kills, a lot more damage. The fact he doesn't have Death Blossom up right now is a travesty. All this speed on the field.
Harblue piling on, was able to take on Mesrar, gets a double kill on top of it. Harblue's Roadhog being very, very good. Misses the hook at the end. Here comes the res from the defense, the last gasp indeed. Earthshatter coming in. Team Liquid from the hammer of Mesrar might be able to hold this back. It has been a very ugly game for TLs here so far.
Harblue and Zahang having a one-on-one in the third. Not generally what you see. They finally clean up Harblue. Little Mercy Rose versus Roadhog, and Mercy actually came out on top there.
My ultimate is charging.
All right, so the defense will hold on at least for a little bit longer. Mesvar and Zahang giving new life to the Team Liquid team here, and if they can hold on for another push or two, I think they'll salvage what has been kind of a clunky game for them here so far, but overall, this has not been the greatest showing from Team Liquid. We'll see what they have here for the next push. Both teams relatively low on ultimate, so should be pretty even as here comes Harblue again, leading the way here on the Roadhog. We'll have Whole Hog up in a second. We'll see what he does with it. Oh no, he's catching Mesvar a little bit out of place here. Mesvar does live, at least for now. And defense Team Liquid getting 2 kills. Not the cleanest here for Gale Force as they move in. Dummy, though, in the back will get hooked, but ID with the barrage over the top, picking up 2, make it 3. I feel like Gale Force just extended a little bit too far there.
Yeah, a little bit of uncoordinated push there too. As you see, even JK is still in the back line, just getting kind of cleaned up. That's going to be a pretty staggered death. They are going to have Torque's Graviton here, so that's a great ultimate to try to end out a map. But I mean, just based on how fast they were moving early on, this has kind of been a failed last push here. They've been doing nothing for like the last 3 minutes, unable to close out the map, and now the cards are like almost back way up the ramp.
The defensive Liquid has done a good job to hold on here. After what was a very rough start, they are starting to stabilize a little bit more. Here comes Graviton, though, from Torque. Does get 2 people in that, but here comes AZK in the back. Does have Tech Visor. He's going to punish the people that tried to go in off that Graviton. 2 kills here for the defense. Resurrection coming up. They are fighting the offense back off of that Graviton and doing it pretty well as AZK picking up yet another kill.
Yeah, the Earth Shatter came down, but then was answered absolutely by Mez's Earth Shatter as well. That's going to be another completely stalled out push. And yeah, they're going to try to switch things up here. Torque comes up on the offensive Widow, now changes to an offensive Reaper, but they know what they're doing is not working. They've not had the same kind of momentum, perhaps a little too tanky to really finish off and get the burst damage they want for these last kills, so adding a Reaper into the mix.
I do feel like Team Liquid has woken up here a bit. They started out so slow. They were not getting what they needed to get, but now they are coming alive. They're doing what they need to do here on defense. It feels like they've been gaining strength as the game goes on. Look at Dummy right now. He is looking at the enemy team. He knows he can go in. He's going to find the Pharah instead, though. Has to back out. Not going to get that drop down ultimate. And he's going to have to back up to a way less of an advantageous position. Here comes the offense. Soundbearer on the way here from Team Liquid. They want to end this right now. They still have to be aware of Dummy's ult. But Torque taking out Mesrar early on here. Will it be enough? Dummy's Death Blossom certainly not going at the mark, but you know it will. The barrage over the top from ID.
Yeah, ID is actually, I mean, you talk about Team Liquid waking up, it's been ID and AZK who've absolutely been carrying lately. ID's with 3K there, he gets a bunch of kills, AZK's coming back into the fight too, also gets some cleanup. Harblue's all alone, kind of wasted all towards the end unless he was thinking he was going to go full on hero mode.
Dummy just getting launched into the air, still managing to kill Roadhog in the end. That's one thing. If you really want to get a whole lot of height right now in the game, have an enemy Roadhog ult you. Characters will fly that have no business flying. In that case, Dummy going for a little bit of a ride.
Okay, so now they do another kind of small switch too. They put Nicholas on the Reaper. They still want to run that, but Torque does go back to Widow, so it seems like they want to run both here.
Let's take a look at Dummy right now. Dummy's saying, okay, I'm not going to go to the high ground anymore. I'm going to hide over here. It might work out. He's going to find the other Reaper first. Nicholas versus Dummy. And Dummy doesn't even try and take that fight. He just backs out.
Dummy's been caught a couple times here now. I mean, just doesn't get the value out of his Reaper that a lot of other players are getting right now. I'm not sure if it's like kind of new to him. It's just not his hero.
Well, we do have the Soundbearer coming up from the defense. He's going to speed boost in. Now he's going to be looking for the Death Blossom. Gets spooked back, knocked to the ground. Not a bad response here from the offensive Gale Force. They make the best out of the kind of a bad situation. Moving in, and now they are pushing Team Liquid back a little bit. Harblue still in the thick of things. Torque getting some pickoffs on Widow in the back. Very close fight going on here. Here's Dummy going to bite the dust to Harblue's hook.
Well, now they're down to it. They've only got maybe 1-2 pushes left. Harblue again with a very late Whole Hog, and yeah, he's going to get a kill or 2 off of it. He's
getting a kill or 3 right now. That is a triple kill 1v3 for Harblue. Harblue saying, look, the fight is over when I say it's over. True heroics coming in right now for Harblue, getting 5 kills in the last part of this game. Talk about putting the team on your back. Oh my goodness, Harblue, please.
I guess that's what he was trying to do the last time he used Whole Hog against 4 people. This time it absolutely worked out. ID's barrage is not going to be enough to absolutely save him. Yeah, they're still in fighting here.
Harblu is still doing work in the back, able to take out the Lucio. Harblu's just been uncontested here for about 6 or 7 kills. It has been an absolute joy to watch, and he's a big reason why Gale Force will complete this map, if they do complete this map.
Yeah, they're kind of in desperation mode now. The heroes you see out of here is a Genji, a Tracer, a Diva. That is desperation all over it. They do finally finish the map off of the back of not any of their switches or anything cute, just Harblu going absolutely ham.
Harblu, it was actually just a 1v3 towards the end. They're saying play the game is to hang, and it was a really big res to save the game towards the end. But I don't know, if I could pick a real play the game, it would just be that entire Roadhog sequence coming out from Harblu, because that was great.
Yeah, I mentioned it. His Roadhog has been just absolutely top tier. The only one I think comes close is LG's Enigma, and I think, you know, man to man, if I was picking one Roadhog to save my life, it'd be Harblu every time. Shows you why.
Harblu definitely coming in the clutch there for Gale Force, letting them salvage what, and I just want to note here too, Gale Force is on track to set something like a sub 4-minute time, and Team Liquid suddenly came alive and was able to turn that back in their favor, so really well done to Team Liquid to turn that back around, because it was looking like Gale Force was just going to steamroll right over them.
Yeah, they did finally, you know, pull it back after that really weird fight on the second point where it seemed like 2 people went in and 4 retreated, which is something you never really want to see out of a team-oriented game like that. I think they got their calls better. It looked like the calls were just really kind of often miscommunicated early on, and then it was just kind of individual play waking up. ID definitely woke up. AZK had himself a nice little round towards the end on that 76 play too, so they put up an actually pretty beatable time now on that defense. A little over 9 minutes. That's pretty slow for modern day Kings Row anyway.
Indeed. All right, so taking a look here at the defense that will be rolling out for the side of Gale Force is going to be Joe Meister on the Torbjorn. And Torbjorn, he's been coming in the vogue on Kings Row, most notably used by Envy, but other teams are catching on, but hang on. We might have to go back to lobby. So that's exactly what we are going to do.
Well, okay.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm going to stop bringing it up after this, but I mean, Harblu was off and on the roster in the scope of a week, like 2 weeks ago. Gale Force officially cut him, and Gale Force officially brought him back. I think it's a good move bringing him back.
After that last game, yes, that would be a good move. I think it would be hard to say that wouldn't be a good move, as his entire team was dead around him. He was in a 1v3, won the 1v3, and continued chaining deaths as his team got there, almost as if Harblu was saying, look, guys, do I even really need you right now? Now, don't get me wrong, Roadhog just does have that unique solo potential in those situations, but still, not every Roadhog would have gotten the value that Harblu did there, and you could say whether or not the defense misplayed. Either way, Harblu came in the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, just Roadhog is such a big part of the meta right now, to have a player who can play it at a top tier level, because he is just kind of taking over that McCree role of bodyguard and DPS output, and he's also a tank. He's got the survivability. And like, to have a player who's playing him to that high level is insane. And I mean, early on when he busted out that whole hog, I'm like, well, this is a bit of a waste. It's 1v3. He's not going to do anything. Because generally whole hog won't really. I mean, it's an okay alt. It's not like the game changer that some can be unless it's comboed really well or you get a good geography, getting people in the corner. But man, Harblu has proven me all sorts of wrong on Roadhog so far today. Well,
don't forget, whole hog too, there was a point where you didn't see it as much because it did... there was a point where it wasn't all that good. You were slowed down a lot more, and then the patch came in that actually buffed whole hog. I feel like people have actually forgotten that whole hog used to be a lot slower movement speed-wise. But the fact that you move quicker, it not only means that you can get into better positions, but you can get way more damage out of it too, because what happened in the old version of whole hog is that you would use whole hog, and then the person would get knocked back, and then you'd just be too far away to get whole hog value, whereas now, whole hog is a little bit more of a killing threat, especially if you can knock someone against a wall, or you get set up by, say, a Zarya ult, or anything where it makes it people aren't going to get thrown a mile away from your ultimate.
Okay. Well, we are back in lobby now, and I mean, rumors are that we might have to get a small delay here sometime tonight for a patch coming in as competitive enters out of the PTR into official. Should be fun.
I'm super excited. I've been waiting for a competitive for such a long time. It is going to be great to actually have the ladder here and available. I can't wait.
I think I'm gonna wait for my computer upgrades so that I don't have an excuse of why I'm doing so poorly. Then it's just gonna be, I won't have anything to blame, and I won't use that as an out.
But I mean, it goes both ways, right? As if your computer is crap, you'd be like, look at the rank I got while my computer was crap.
That's true.
Harblu got DC'd. People are now worrying that the patch might be here and going the mess of things, which is entirely possible. That's unfortunately one of those things where anytime you hold something on Tuesday, you incur this risk. Usually the downtime isn't all that severe, but, you know, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, JKW says half his friends list is going on and off. We're going to try to just get it in, because if we can get in for a stable lobby, we should be fine.
Yeah, we're going to give it a shot. If it is unstable, of course, what we'll do is we'll at least try and finish out this map here tonight. It wouldn't be the first time the tournament has had to delay things or have an extra long day sometime in the future if required. Of course, no one likes it when that happens, but every now and then, servers just do what servers want to do. Maintenance happens when it happens. Esports is esports.
That is really
what else can you
sum
say?
It up. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that people are like, what they especially laud on online productions of like, what are you guys doing? It's like, well, there's been offline productions that the entire internet's crashed for the entire day. So it's just kind of esports. When your sport is based on electronics as part of its name, you are at the whim of those very electronics.
And of course, too, you think about how things are run more in traditional sports. They have so many different layers of backups. Also, you don't have to worry about patch coming in where you're in the middle of, say, an NFL game, and then, hang on, guys, we have to update the NFL rules. Or for football, where, you know, hang on, guys, we have a new rule set here where the ball actually is going to be XYZ. It's just, no, you don't have to worry about that.
The ball's going to be a little bit deflated. Different rule set.
Ooh.
Deflategate shots.
See, when I was saying football, I was actually talking European football there, just because I try not to trigger people too much. I said NFL for NFL, but then football for European football, which, by the way, is a much better name for the sport than soccer.
Yeah, well,
think about
it's accurate.
What do you do in football? Foot goes to ball. What do you do in American football? Ball goes to hand. I mean, the entire thing of hand egg versus football, actually entirely accurate.
I think there's some argument about the lineage of both sports are from the same thing that they just kind of took a different branch on, right, at some point? Because rugby is kind of the combination of the two. Yeah,
rugby is a combination of the two. At some point, of course, the NFL got very offensive based, and at some point, European football got based on who is the best actor. So it does change as time goes on. Have you ever seen those flopping videos for European football? Yeah, it's actually just great. I mean, those guys, not only do they have to be phenomenal athletes, but they also have to be award-winning actors as well.
I like the one that's cut with Barry Pepper's scene from Saving Private Ryan, where he's doing a sniper. It's cut with that, and I think it's absolutely one of the best YouTube mashups I've ever seen. So we're waiting for one, and then we'll figure out if we're actually going to be able to get this game, or we're going to have to take a break and figure it out. So we're just trying to keep you as entertained as possible here momentarily while we wait for this lobby to fill back up. What happened, if you are just joining us, is that Team Liquid defended Kings Row for about 9 minutes and 56, I think, something around that. And they're going to be on.
It was 9:17, or it was 9:16 was the official time.
Okay, I'm dyslexic for numbers. There's a term for that I can't remember. So clearly my short-term memory doesn't work either.
By the way, for those who are curious about the delay in the stream is much less here today. The standard delay for Overwatch tournaments is about 75 seconds. It was a little bit longer yesterday due to some tech stuff, but usually it's just long enough that there's no advantage really from watching the stream and trying to figure out stuff from there, but not so long that if issues come up, we can't fix them, or really for you guys, just we want to get to you as live as possible without stream sniping and all the rest actually being a thing.
Yeah, because stream sniping is totally a thing. I mean, it happens in all sorts of games and whatnot, so delays are absolutely mandatory, as I think across the board in esports, as we talk about rules and rule sets. So we have 10 out of 12 in the lobby right now, so we're just kind of waiting, doing the overtalk. I don't think there's any other patch notes that are coming out. I think it's just we're adding in competitive, and it's going to be a short season. So
adding in competitive, short season, unlock the golden guns of your choosing.
You need 300 points, though. Isn't that 300 wins? Is that how it works?
Well, it's 300 wins, and then it's speculated that you'll also get a big chunk of competitive points for you. So, like, say you get into the top 500, you might just get a whole bunch of extra comp points added to your pool.
What are your first golden guns by? What are you going to get? You getting Tracer?
It would be either Tracer or Widow, probably.
Okay. See, I think there's a couple skins that work really well with the golden guns, because Tracer's Posh already has gold in it.
Yeah, the Posh Tracer. Yeah, no, that's great with the golden guns.
Phenomenal, and also Reinhardt's Paragon with a giant golden hammer.
Oh, dude, I actually didn't think about that, but that would be great.
I mean, I don't even play
he already has the white and gold motive going already, but then you give him like this huge golden hammer. Right. That would be great.
I don't even play that much Reinhardt. He's like kind of one of my go-to tank. Well, I mean, when you need a Reinhardt, you need a Reinhardt, so someone's got to play him. But yeah, that skin is so sick. There's so many good like epic skins and whatnot. You know, that you don't have to spend 1,000 on. There's some really good 250 skins. I think my favorite Roadhog ones are actually all of his 250 ones, where it's like his red and white motif is pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that we only have really the first round of skins right now. We're going to get more skins as time goes on that will be pretty cool to have to look at. All the rest, I mean, just think about where other games were that had skins where they started out pretty modest and then you look at them 3 years later, it's just, oh my goodness, how do you have all this stuff? I imagine the same's going to be Overwatch, where we'll get big content patches that add 3-4 skins per character, plus new maps, plus new characters. What we see right now for Overwatch content is really just the beginning.
Yeah, that's why I'm not buying any Tracer Legendaries, because I'm going to wait for one I really, really like. I've been playing so much Tracer lately, despite all the crap I gave you for Tracer. If you looked at my numbers of like the last 2 weeks, it's like...
Oh, and here it is. Finally, this confession from X, where he's just like, Tracer main this, Tracer main that. You've been really back and forth on what you hate and what you like, X, as time has gone on.
I know.
And there's one point where you just hated Genji more than anything else.
It really depends what I'm maining at the time. Genji is super annoying. I was playing so much Pharah then, and you just can't hit him. And then you finally put a rocket on face, and it gets deflected back at you. It's like the worst feeling ever. Like, infinite mobility, high DPS character, yeah, he's gonna wreck solo queue pubs, and I was playing mostly solo queue pubs. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is based on what I'm playing at the time. Right now, I really hate Torb, because I've been playing like 25 hours of Tracer, and actually, she's not even that good against Torb.
Here's the thing about Torbjorn. Tracer is perfectly fine against Torbjorn, but he's still a big threat that you have to deal with. Like, I don't think Torbjorn counters Tracer per se, but he does command a lot of her attention. You can't be nearly as free in the back line if a Torbjorn turret is down, because it's going to hit you no matter what. It focuses your attention sort of like a lightning rod. Now, Torbjorn is a Tracer lightning rod. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, now Junkrats, on the other hand, the only big complaint, because I don't really mind Junkrats, he's Tracer's hard counter, and that's fine. Characters need a hard counter, and if you play it right against Junkrat, you should be able to take him anyway. What I don't like is that a lot of times that trap falls halfway through the ground and you can't see it, and that's been that way since day one of beta, and I would love for that to be fixed. I'd love to be able to see a trap like at more than 3 pixels sticking out of the ground.
So just a quick update for you guys who are tuning, going, why are they over talking for so long? Why are we talking about soccer? Why are we talking about football? Why are we talking about football as it is properly named football and all this other random stuff? Unfortunately, the server's having some issues right now. We do know that patch is underway. Some people cannot log in the BNet, so we're going to give it a little bit more time here. Worst case scenario, we can delay if the servers do not come up as planned. Obviously, we'd prefer not to do that, but that is why we're getting all this over talk right now. So my sincerest apologies for things working out that way. Just out of our control here today.
Right. I mean, while we have a moment, I actually have an idea how to deal with overtalk. Maybe we'll try it out here tonight. But you are watching the Beat Invitational. I swear there is actual gameplay coming. I promise you. It is brought to you by Soylent. Also, our other sponsors are Matcherino, PvP Live, and Steel Series. You know what all of these companies are. Soylent makes it so you don't have to think about eating. It's just a food supplement that is just... I've heard it's good. I've yet to delve into it. I'm thinking about doing it, though. I've done a lot of weird kind of diet and nutrition things in my life, so I think it'll be time to give Soylent a shot. And I think we're giving away some of that, too, on our Matcherino page. Speaking of that Matcherino page, it's !Matcherino. I think if you donate $20, you get like 3 cases of Soylent, which is an insane deal. I actually might get in on that myself if they're not already taken. !Matcherino brings you to our Matcherino page. If you want to donate to the tournament, that money goes right into the prize pool. I think we still have a coupon code that is BEAT, throws $1 right into the prize pool. Please do that. It's not your money. It's someone else's. Give it to the players. PvP Live, of course, is a news site for gaming, Overwatch especially, so check that out daily for updates on news, roster changes, etc. Of course, Overwatch is a game that has plenty of roster changes, so you're going to want to stay in the know. PvP Live will help you do that. And of course, Steel Series, which is the mousepad I'm using that I buy like every 6 months or so because I burn through these things, but they're affordable and awesome, and I will not use another mousepad. I've actually bought my dad and brother and everyone I know who uses a mouse, I buy them this mousepad, and no one has ever complained about it, and they didn't know a mousepad could be this nice until I bought it.
Actually, one of the biggest mistakes that people do make when they get in FPS games is that not only do they run with too high of a sensitivity, but they also have a very small mousepad. They have something like, the very small mousepad they got their Dell back in 1990. It's like, this is a good mousepad as it's beat up, scuffed up, and has no room. No, it's not.
Right.
Please invest in a quality mousepad. And if you're going to invest in a quality mousepad, why not get one from Steel Series?
Yeah,
After all, they are sponsoring this tournament, but it does look like both teams have gone back in. The patch has not hit yet. We're going to hold our breath. We're going to go forward, and we're going to try and get into this game.
Okay. I didn't have to bust out my secret strategy for Overtalk, so we'll keep it. We'll keep it in the back pocket.
The secret strategy. I don't know what it is. How secret are we talking?
I don't even think it's a good idea yet. So
okay.
Maybe I'll run it by you before we do it. So.
All right, but in that case, it wouldn't be a secret, because then I would be in on the secret.
Yeah,
and
right. But now we're in game, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
All right.
Well, take a look here at the defense coming out from the side of Gale Force. Does look like they're going to be running Shake on the Mercy, JKW on Reinhardt, Nicholas on the Pharah, Joe Meister on Torbjorn, Torque TJO on the 76, and Harblue on what else but Roadhog. And after his performance in the last round, why wouldn't you put Roadhog on the Street Pig?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's been amazing at it. There's no other way to say it. And I hope we go to Dorado, because I think his strategy on Dorado is absolutely unrivaled on Roadhog. No one does it better than him, but we'll see. We still have to get through this map first. Kind of interesting to see the Torb coming out, a very envious strategy from Joe Meister. I mean, this is pretty much what Internet Hawk and Envious have been running on this map lately, so definitely taking a page out of their book. Offensively, I don't think Dummy is going to be on that offensive Torb. The things I do know that are coming out from this offense from Team Liquid are going to be ID is going to be on the Pharah, Dehang is going to take him to the sky with Mercy as well. Mez is, of course, going to be playing the Reinhardts. Minstrel will be on Lucio, and I'm not entirely sure what Dummy and AZK are going to play on. AZK, of course, was a great McCree back then, but we don't know if McCree's really into it. Dummy, I think, is actually going to be on this Roadhog, and I'll say that AZK probably will even come out on this Reaper. Reaper's just too good now.
For the assist.
All right, well, 3 seconds to go here, and we are going to be getting into it. We'll see if Team Liquid has the chops required to beat this time that was set forward. 9:16, it is a very beatable time here on Kings Row. It's not a blazingly fast time. Team Liquid will have many an option to get through the Gale Force defense.
Yeah, so some poke early on is all they're trying to do. Really, the battle early on is between two Reinhardts, see who gets more fire strike value, and gets that ult up a little quick. But this is a very kind of slow, methodical push. Now that they realize there is that sentry up there, they're going to have to find an answer for that. Otherwise, it's going to pick them apart.
Well, ID right now is looking again the 76, going right in, takes out Torque with 2 beautifully shot rockets, and this is going to set Team Liquid up here. 2 quick kills here on the attack. Even though they lost someone to start this out, their respawns will be in a little bit quicker as Nicholas and Joe Meister getting into it, but they're trading out kills. Nicholas is able to get some key kills on this, but again, the offense is going to be back in here way sooner, so if ID doesn't die here, can stall a little bit. I think the offense is in a great situation, but look at Nicholas just chasing down ID in all sorts of trouble, but he gets the big health, is going to live for now, and here comes the rest of the offense coming in for Team Liquid.
Yeah, so the first push didn't work out all that great, and now there's some decent ults for the defense to work with. I mean, especially this Earth Shatter. He's definitely won the Reinhardt battle early on, and that Earth Shatter does come out.
That shot comes out, doesn't do much. Here comes the Molten Core Aardvark right now for Joe Meister. Does have a turret to go with it, but Torbjorn himself actually does a lot of damage in Molten Core mode. He attacks way faster. He's going to be able to take out Mesrar, but overall, the offense right now getting everything they want. The barrage in from ID takes out 3. And that's going to be all they need to get this point. The defense will not be able to get back here in time.
You know why I love Torbjorn the most? I mean, yes, whatever, the fight was great, but what his player model is just hilarious. Like, when he's on the ground in his ragdoll, he got hooked on the ground and was just sliding across the ground, and it really tickled me pink. That was a great hook.
So the offense right now, they know they have a lot of time. They don't actually have to be too crazy going forward here. They don't have a whole lot of ultimates to use as they go forward, but if they do win this next fight and get through the next bend, they're going to be in a great shape. And even if they don't, they will have multiple attempts.
For the assist.
Yeah, so making good time here. The defense is in a really good position, though. I mean, better position than Liquid really ever found themselves, and they're going to be able to defend this corner. They have nice ults to work with. Here comes Dummy, though, with the whole hog.
Oh, we have Torque, though, with the attack visor in the back. Nicholas with the barrage at the ready here in the front. The defense able to just swarm into the off attackers here, but they haven't gotten the kills they need, but Dang will get removed by the delete mercy button in barrage. Attackers are doing a decent job here. They've been weathering the storm, and it's really back and forth on the payload.
Well, at least Barrage is now delete mercy, because it used to be press Q to die. So with the new meta, that Barrage actually does have some more value, that it's not McCree into every game. So, but a pretty solid hold by the defense, and now they're going to be able to hold around this bend again. It's really nice in the street space if you can get 2 spots to hold. The first bend and the second bend. A lot of teams will get pushed out so far hard on first in the first fight that they can really only hold at second. So really turning this 1 point and this 1 fight into 2 is extremely beneficial.
Well, there you go. The offensive sub bear is on the way. ID going to back with the barrage. Will he take out Lucio? Will take out Lucio, but gets domed by Torque in the back. Teams trading out back and forth. Both teams going to use the res. Everyone is coming back into the fray, but Torque and Nicholas in the back here for Gale Force, getting just a little bit more value as they're going to finish up the rest of this fight.
Yeah, cleaning up, and you know, as we mentioned early on, Torque and Nicholas are the engine of this team. As they go, so does Gale Force Esports, and it seems like they have found their stride on defense here at the very least, as they get to combine for a bunch of kills. When those guys are on, they're some of the 2 best DPS players in the game. And then Hardblue is adding in onto it too. I mean, playing the DPS tank hybrid in Roadhog, and they still haven't really had an answer for that. ID now switches onto the Reaper because, yeah, they need to figure out an answer to Roadhog.
Well, if that switch up here, I think it's going to be a little bit rough for Liquid on this next attack. They're not going to have the ultimates they need. Multiple ultimates are about to be up here for the Gale Force side. I feel like this next team fight should be a wash. Gale Force is going to be able to take it, but the best case scenario for Liquid is that they do drain some of these ults up, which are significant.
Well, Mez has a nice Earth Shatter. If they can get the shield cracked, which is nice that they have the Roadhog to try to do that.
The Earth Shatter does come down, but so does the Sound Barrier. Nicholas got into the air just in time. No one dead here yet on the defense. Finally, though, Mezwar will take out Jellmeister, but look at defense. They're poised. They weather the storm from that Earth Shatter with the Sound Barrier. Barrage comes out. I'm not even sure the Barrage is really needed.
And yet again, I mean, the answer to Roadhog is supposed to be this Reaper, and yet again, Hardblue kills the Reaper who sent it on him. Last time on the map, it was Dummy on the Reaper dying to Roadhog, and this time it's ID dying to Roadhog. They just don't have the Reaper play to be able to crush the tank-heavy compositions they've been seeing today.
Why? All right, so one thing that was really good there for the offensive team, look at the very least, they did drain most of the ultimates from the defense. So that's still what they need to get there. They need that, if they were going to get wiped, they need to drain the ultimates. They did get that value. And ID right now going to be a little bit sneaky, perhaps looking to get high ground and going in just a second. And this is a winnable fight here for Team Liquid as they move forward. And they're moving forward right now. They don't even want to waste time for a fancy set. They're just getting right into the fray right now. ID looking for an opportunity, going to take the back door. He's going to find Roadhog. Roadhog versus Reaper right now. Who will win? Hardblue is going to win that fight. AZK though for the offense with the attack visor coming out on top of the fight. Dummy picking off 2 kills, and AZK is going to get the cleanup here. He is pushing everyone back. Torque right now with the counter-attack visor though of his own on the top, does take out 2 here, makes it 3. The 76 attack visor is getting all sorts of value as Torque off the res is able to come back into the fight and do all sorts of work, completing over 4 kills. I gotta say, I feel like we've been seeing the Soldier going crazy moments a lot more frequently as people have been running Soldier a lot more often and upping their level of play. People never had the incentive to do this well on Soldier before the last patch simply because they ran a McCree instead.
Yeah, you're right on that, but it's also that I think they waited until Mez was done, and you mentioned the word value, and that's all that it's been. For Gale Force is getting much more value out of their ultimates than Team Liquid is. They're just getting better shots, better fights overall because of that, and they've been patient on it. They're using their ults when the time when the counters to those ults have already been used or are on cooldown.
So the defense right now pretty well poised. Nicholas will have a barrage here for the next fight. And Liquid, they're quickly running out of time. Not even just on the stopwatch overall, but just the in-game time. The in-game time is going to be their enemy more than the overall stopwatch time here. If they want to get something done, they need to get it done soon. And a lot of it is probably going to depend on, let's look at ID. Is he going to be able to get the good Death Blossom that he needs to get? It's tricky to do it as an offensive Reaper, though not impossible.
Yeah, it's going to be harder, especially not having Sound Barrier. That'd be a nice thing to protect him. They're not even running a Pharah with his composition as Dummy is on Winston. A Pharah and a Reaper could actually get a lot of work done with the Death Blossom, too. That's why you see so many Pharahs in the game.
ID right now is looking to go in, but the defense out, the defensive Sound Barrier just moving in. Nicholas with the barrage over the top, takes out 2, is going to hit the dirt from the hammer, coming out from Mezwar, however. The offense trying to do the most here. AZK now with the attack visor, turning it right back. After that Earth Shatter, they're moving in, and this is not the worst here for Team Liquid. AZK trying to get a little bit of extra value, not able to get the final pickoff. And yet the offensive momentum continues forward, and Gale Force getting pushed back a bit here.
Yeah, ID finally had a nice life on Reaper. He was actually aggressive where he needed to be aggressive, push his advantage, took people down, started going forward instead of back, and I think that's been the issue with their Reaper play generally, is they're a little too passive with it. Reaper's one of those heroes that you gotta dive for kills because you need the health that you're gonna get from that kill. Now he's in a really nice position for this Death Blossom. We'll see if he gets the huge value out of it that he's looking for.
If ID is able to hit a huge Death Blossom here, I think Liquid does have a chance to take this game. They got delayed for way too long in the Streets phase, but if ID can come in here over the top, get 2 or 3 kills, that will be exactly what Team Liquid needs, and we're going to see here in just a moment. Both teams are getting into it, and look at ID taking the other approach here, going through the building, does take out the 76 before using Death Blossom, has Lucio in his sights turned back, and this is pretty good right now coming up from ID. I like the way he went in, decided not to go over the top, was a little bit more sneaky. Offensive Sound Barrier on the way, Team Liquid making their move, ID a big part of that, will get knocked back, gets Reinhardt off the Death Blossom. Not definitively over yet for Team Liquid, but a very good omen as ID picks up the Lucio kill.
Well, I mean, one thing is that Hardblue was disconnected when they made their strongest push, so that we have to take into account at the very least. But I think this is kind of where their strength is on compositions. Again, you see Dummy is on a tank, which I think is his best heroes. His Zarya is really good. His Winston's really good. Did a lot of work there. ID finally got some value out of a Reaper, which they weren't able to find in the first half of the map. But yeah, there's no pause in Overwatch, and Hardblue disconnected before they took the second point. So
well, Blue definitely not happy with that situation. The servers right now, they do get a little bit unstable right before a major patch, so we'll see what the teams want to do moving forward here. I do think we're going to try and continue to play, but if we keep getting disconnects, it'd be a little bit awkward. But unfortunately, Blue did DC there,
yeah.
And it did give Liquid the opportunity, in part, to move forward and beat the time set. So officially, Team Liquid will be the winners of Map 1 here versus Gale Force. Even though both teams very evenly matched, and if not for the DC, maybe it would have gone the other way.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly when it happened in the fight. I kind of noticed it a little late. I'm not sure if it really cost him the second point or not. I know there was a brief moment where he had disconnected while they were trying to push towards last. So definitely it played a factor at the very least. But I think the big thing I learned about Liquid is that, you know, Dummy needs to play his best heroes. And I saw it a couple days ago too, and I kind of harp on it about it because I just don't think that the Reaper value they were getting early on was good, and I think they kind of saw that as well. As ID, who's a Pharah main like 100% of the time, ended up having to take up the banner as Reaper, got a lot of work done on it, and Dummy did a lot better when he's on Winston. I mean, play to your strengths. His Zarya is phenomenal, his Winston's really good, and they do better when they're running that kind of roster. So be interesting to see if that's what strategy that Liquid has to employ later on, is you do kind of need a Reaper in this meta, and you have to get a Reaper who's going to get a lot of value.
Running Reaper and getting value off it, absolutely paramount. We have seen differences back and forth between both teams. I definitely agree with you on some of your criticisms, saying I don't think Dummy is really getting the value that some of the other Reapers in the game we've seen have get. Like right now, you compare it to, say, a Taimu.
Oh, yeah.
Taimu on Envy gets all sorts of value all day, every day when he's on Reaper. We haven't quite seen that come out from Dummy. Dummy does really well when he's on tanks. His tank play is very good.
Yep.
I feel like when possible, they should keep him on it. The problem is that he doesn't play the Reinhardt on the team. So there's situations where maybe you only want a Reinhardt and you don't want a Zarya or an off tank. And that means Dummy has to go in a Reaper. And they do get less performance out of that compared to other setups.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think, and also the roster is youngish still. They're still trying to figure out how they can work well together and things like that. But we are going to Hollywood for the next map. That is, of course, the choice of Gale Force. So it is the choice of Liquid. If they want to attack or defend, they are choosing to defend first. So getting right into it. Right now, Liquid is up 1-0, but a very close match, about a minute difference between the times there. And yeah, I think these teams are very, very close. And I can't even call this series, really. I just want to watch Hardblue play more Roadhog, really.
Watching Hardblue play more Roadhog would be awesome. He has had a very good Street Pig, and I think we'll see more of it here in Hollywood. There's no reason not to. Hollywood, a very good map for Roadhog. Most maps in general at least have some form or use for Roadhog, although one thing that I would like to get a little bit more insight on is we used to see Roadhog a lot in King of the Hill, and then we just hit a point recently where we stopped seeing it. I wonder what the reasoning was for teams. It might just be as simple as Roadhog builds too many ults for the other team.
Yeah, and with King of the Hill being as kind of snowbally as it is, giving up any sort of ult advantage with that giant 600 health pool and self-heal, you're kind of just feeding constantly with them. So that's a point that you've always brought up about Roadhog, and now that we're seeing him more in game, it's definitely a point that people need to take into consideration. Well, let's see, on the defense here, it does not look like they're running really anything standard that I was expecting. No Trash Mouse, no Street Pig. You know, no Symmetra, nothing going on here. So it's kind of just an all-damage looking defense right now. Mez is going to be playing the Reinhardt. Tahang is going to play Mercy. ID is on that Pharah. Dummy is on the defensive Reaper. Minstrel on Lucio. AZK on Soldier 76. So, I mean, it's a standard looking lineup, but it's not the most standard for Hollywood.
I tend to agree. For Hollywood, we've seen a lot of Junkrat, a lot of Symmetra, and all the rest. Or Torbjorn, and we're not seeing any of that coming out from the defense here from Team Liquid. I'm not saying it's going to end badly, but it is a little bit different from what we've seen in the past. Meanwhile, take a look here at the offense. Setting up from the side of Gale Force will be a little bit more on the traditional side. It's going to be Nicholas on the Pharah, Torque on the Zarya, Joe Meister on Lucio, Shake on the Mercy, JKW on Reinhardt, and Hardblue going to round things out here on the Roadhog.
Yeah, Hardblue's found his home on the Hog, I think. I think when he's not on that, it's purely for a compositional choice or a strategic choice. I think if he had his brothers, he'd play Roadhog every different day, or every day.
Well, we saw it back on King's Row where he was able to save Team Liquid's bacon with that 1v3 to start things out. So yeah, Hardblue definitely has had some pretty good looks here thus far. We'll see if he's able to keep it forward here in Hollywood as both teams now poking each other, and we'll see. Is it going to be a quick offense here from the side of Gale Force, an offense that waits a little bit?
Yeah, Dummy needs to get in position on the top of the stairs or somewhere here. He's playing very passively as a Reaper, and I think that's been his style on Reaper, and it hasn't quite worked out. and
Oh
taken
man, Harblu's able to go in, took out Dummy from the back. Now that Reaper is going to be down here for the defense, and this is a big opportunity, especially if Harblu can pick up 1 or 2 more kills. But his Roadhog still brilliant. He's able to take out ID, 2 kills here for the offense. Now 64, they can be very aggressive on the point. Reinhardt in trouble, and Harblu prying the door open here for Gale Force as they are going to swarm the point, and they might get a very quick capture indeed.
Well, the Hang is going to bring Mez back, so that Res it really worked for to bring in, but now they're all just getting taken out yet again. Not really any kills coming down for the defense. AZK got 1, but that's been it.
That all started because Harblu was able to sneak his way into the building, looked for an opportunity, and pulled in Dummy with what was almost a max range Roadhog hook. It was great. It was a great way of opening things up, and as a result, they were just able to get 1 kill after that, another kill, and before you know it, Gale Force had the point.
Yeah, I watched these teams in the lower bracket on Saturday, and they know that Harblu's the sneakiest hog there is. He won games for them by coming around the back end and hooking Mercy, so it's not like this is a new look that Gale Force is trying to adjust to. Harblu's a flank Roadhog who doesn't miss hooks, and you have to answer.
So the offense right now moving right along. Ult-wise, the defense does have a little bit more of an adventure. They're about to have Death Blossom, they have Tac Visor, they have Barrage. So I would expect the offense to get stalled out here in just a moment. This should be a relatively easy fight for Liquid. Of course, you never know, ultimates aren't the only thing, but when you have this big of an ultimate advantage, it can be a big deal. As Dummy takes out Harblu in the back, now 65 for the defense. They're going to be very aggressive in taking this out. ID looking for the back, looking for his delete key, not using it just yet. As AZK was able to get to the back, uses Tac Visor, picks up 2. And they'll be able to save all the ults here except Tac Visor. Pretty good defense coming out here from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, they held on to their advantage. The one thing you never want to do in Overwatch is start overlapping ultimates, because they're so valuable that if you have to use 2 to do the same thing that 1 could have done, you're already putting yourself behind. Now, the interesting thing here is the offensive Widow, and I don't think they're going to have to change up their composition because Widow's just not as big of a threat anymore, but if Torque starts getting some picks, which he might with his ultimate up, then they're going to have to adjust to it. Here come the infrared sights.
Dummy's in a really bad position there. Usually for Reaper, you want to be sneaky. He just ran right down the street and got punished. I know he fell off, but that shouldn't happen. The offensive Nicholas here getting the double kill, but ID striking right back, able to win that fair v fair battle, and now has a barrage of his own, and he sees Mercy. Will barrage be on the way? He's trying to save it. Doesn't even need the barrage. But he's under fire from Nicholas. Nicholas versus ID in the way, and ID has to concede some ground as Harblu on the point, picking up the triple kill with Whole Hog. Man, Harblu's been a beast here today.
Yeah, there's really, I mean, we're going to run out of superlatives at some point because Harblu's just going absolutely ham. He does hit another hook, get taken out after he's unable to finish off the hook there, but he did stall some time on the door. They might be able to walk to this point, but Demon's going to come in and try to delay this.
ID was able to get right in on the torque, took out the offensive Widow. Here comes the barrage. Justice raining, takes out 2. Nicholas, though, Justice no more, takes out ID. The offense still making a presence here, but the defense definitely coming in force. They will push Nicholas and co a little bit further back, but this is dangerous here for Liquid. They're pushing really far forward. Maybe it works out, but maybe not, as Harblu able to get the hook and punish. And this is why it's for a defense. You can't be too over aggro and punishing an offense that is backing off.
I don't mind it though, because 2 of the 3 people retreating were supports, so the odds that you're going to snag one of their supports on the retreat is fine, and I'll usually take that trade.
So the offense now moving forward. Harblu about to have Whole Hog up again, which usually you don't think is the most game-changing ult, but has definitely been used to good effect here today. Harblu right now going around the flank, the rest of his team going in through the front. Roadhog flanks being a thing here, and Lucio almost eating the hook. Harblu doesn't land it, says, okay, we're going to Whole Hog, juggles Mercy in the corner, gets stunned, but not before doing some serious damages. Gale Force really getting on top of the point. Here comes the barrage out from Nicholas, will take out Mezrar, but Liquid trying to hang in here. Offensive reso coming in, and this might be it for Liquid on this point.
Yeah, if they can actually get this quickly, because otherwise the Hang does have a resurrection, they're going to be smart and not come in anymore on the defense. That is the point taken. Just the fair battle went into ID's favor there. Torque's still running this Widow. He's not getting the most value out of it, but I think it's fine. If you're getting even a modicum of value, I've always said that Widow's a great way just to change the way that the team is playing against you. It forces them into a Winston, forces them into an answer, and if you're getting a couple picks here and there, you can still justify it.
Definitely, and Widow, she's not quite as explosive as she used to be, but if you do land the headshots you're looking for, it can be huge. He's looking for the Mercy, did have an opportunity, was not able to confirm that kill, and that would have been so huge for the offense if he was able to hit it. But here comes the defense, though, on the way forward with the defensive sound barrier, and lets him push in the offense a little bit more aggressively. Dummy way in the back, causing havoc on Winston. Again, I'm a little bit nervous here for the defense. I think they pushed a little bit too far. Mesvar died as a result. The defense now getting pushed back. They're down a player. The offense is going to have a 65 to start this out. That's just a little bit too aggro for my taste.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you there. When it's not really getting you 2 to 3 kills like you want on your camps, then it's not worth it. And to hang out, was lucky to get out with his life as he was trailing everyone there.
Well, they do chain death there. Dummy does go down. He will get rezzed up, but that means they have to blow the res early. And here comes the offense now with the sound bearer on the way in. ID holding his barrage. The hammer down coming in from JKW. Knocks down one. Very back and forth here between the two teams, but look at Torque getting value on the Widowmaker, getting the double kill. The res is up now from the offense. Defense is on the res. There's another headshot coming in from Torque. Torque being the artillery cannon in the back line, landing shot for shot with Widow, setting up his team. And Gale Force now in a great position to take this point.
Yeah, Widow still does a lot of damage when you damage Booster. Wow, Mez just totally missed his charge.
Oh, did you see that boop at the end by Joe Meister? Reinhardt was about to get in the point delay, but Joe Meister just boop.
Oh, that's what happened.
Secures
I thought
the
Mez
point.
just missed his charge. Good. I'm
No,
glad.
no, he got booped.